I've seen a few people talking about their coloring books to finish. Some of them have even got books that they are almost close to finishing, and it got me thinking about my coloring book collection and which books would I like to actually complete at some stage. So I've decided to pick 10 books that right now I would like to finish. They don't necessarily need to be complete by the end of 2023. However, at some point in time, I would like to be able to flip through these books and see each page completely colored in, and also to have a sense of accomplishment and a sense of achievement. So I've picked out 10 books that I really do like, books that I have decided I wouldn't mind completing. There's one or two books that might get swapped for another one as we go through, and I get more familiar with what my tastes are and which books I find very inspiring. So I don't expect this to be a static selection of 10 books. However, there are a few books in here that I think are pretty much a guarantee. So I've got my creative companion here with me, and in here I've gone and listed all 10 books that I would like to complete at some point in time. This is also a list that I started in January 2023. So again, it's not static. I expect it to be a dynamic list and to change as my tastes and my mood changes. So I'm going to clear my desk and I'm going to show you what I've done in my journal and start off with some of these books. So in my creative companion, I have made a separate section here listing these 10 books. I just need to remember which tag it is. I think it's this one here. So what I did is I'm just going to zoom you in a bit more so you can see. So I took these 2 pages and I dedicated it to my 10 books. Now what I've done is I've kind of created a bit of a grid, and I've counted each page and it's more or less accurate, and I've colored in the squares to show which pages I've already completed before January 2023, and then which pages I have completed since January basically. And I mean, as you can see, I haven't made much headway, but I mean, I'm getting there. So this is going to be a video where I'm going to show you each of the pages I've colored in these books, and then basically that they are the books that I want to complete at some point in time. So I'm going to start with 100 Hugs. I'm just going to move my journal to one side. Now, as you can see, in 100 Hugs, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages already. Then it's got 100 pages in it, so I'm nowhere near even a 10th of the way done. But it's a start. So this is 100 Hugs by Chris Riddle. Really lovely page. I do enjoy the illustrator. He's also a children's author. A friend of mine absolutely loves his books and his illustrations. So in some ways, I actually think of her whenever I color in this book. So you've got all the books he's done, and then our introduction page. Now I've done this page already, and I'm using Prismacolor pencils in here because they are very quick to, you get a good tonal color on them very quickly. You don't need to layer them too much. They blend well into each other, and this is very thin paper, so you really can't do a lot of layers on it anyway. So I don't want to use anything hard. I want very soft pencils. I've done the panda, the flamingos. I tried to show that they were standing in water, but I didn't get the effect very well. And also, as you can see here, the illustrations do mark over into each other. So when I'm finished, I'm going to have to go and just erase all these lines. I've done these guys here. I don't know if they're trolls or what they are, but I've done them. There are a couple of colorists who are coloring through this book. I don't know how far they are, but I found their work quite inspiring. So whenever I want a hug, I come in and color this. I've got this one here. Then I did the bats, and what I actually need to do is just come back in and just add a few stars. I think then I've got these ghosts and the snowmen, and they're very quick coloring because the illustration is so good. You don't really need to add texture or anything like that. It's already done it for you. And yeah, so that's what I've done and what I'm hoping. I want to finish the whole book. They're really, really lovely. So I just need to really crack on with it and get it done. Next up is Country Charm. Now in here I've done 4 pages, and I do have a whip, which will one day be done. So Country Charm is a Creative Haven book by Teresa Goodrich. I'll just zoom you out. So I've done this little bit here already. I've marked off my pencils for this page, which is my whip. And I find Teresa Goodrich's books really fun to color in, and very quite relaxing. And I think what helps is that a lot of the background is done for you, so it takes a lot of guesswork out of it. And then this was the first page I did in this book. And these are done with Prismacolor pencils. So I mainly use Prismas in this book. I think Prismas are my favorite pencils. I really do need to come back to this though. And we've got the train. This one, I love this wagon. And I've got this one here. And the snow came out really, really well on this page. I was very, very pleased with how it came out. I thought I had more. Let's just double check. No, I think I haven't done as much as I think I have. But yeah, so I need to come back to Country Charm, and I really enjoy it. It's my favorite Creative Haven book. Next up is Magical Delights by Klara Markova. Now this book is a bit tricky because I haven't colored in every single page because I got this as a second-hand book and some of the pages had already been colored in. That being said though, I have done one page in here, which is this one, and I love every illustration I see by Klara Markova. I really do. It's just an extraordinary book to color in, extraordinary illustrations, and I really, really find them beautiful. So I do want to actually color the whole book, and the only pages I won't be able to showcase are the ones that have already been colored in by previous owners. However, I'm going to actually work towards buying these books as I see them available on second hand. So yeah, really, really lovely, lovely book. So That is Magical Delights by Clara Markova. Then we have, oh goodness, Fairy and Fantasy 2, Grayscale Coloring Book by Christine Karen. And again, every page in here is just absolutely exquisite. So this is one of my more recent works. Prismacolor pencils and Castle Art pencils. This is a whip. Trying a very delicate approach on this one. Then I've done this one. I have got one more in here. Which is just hiding. There we go. And that one. So slowly making progress. I'd like to color in more than one page at a month. So I do need to work a bit more on this. I think if I was to, should have, it's 24. So if I was to do 2 pages a month, I could actually get this done within a year. So I actually should work on this book a bit more and actually aim to have it done by the end of the year. So that's Fairy and Fantasy by Christine Karen. Then I have Fragile World, and as I've mentioned before, I love this book, and it's by Kirby Rosanas, and I would love to actually see it completely covered, colored in from cover to cover. So I've just finished this page and really pleased with how it came out. I find Kirby books are just a dream to work in. They're easy to work in. So this is also a book I would like to color in more. I really should give it a bit more attention than what I do. This one I did with Inktense pencils. Then we've got the axolotls, which was Inktense pencils as a base and then polychromos on top. Not poly, sorry, I'm sorry, Prismacolors on top. And there is a full color along available on the channel, which you can see up here. I'm trying to have it that pretty much every page I color in this book will be a color along on the channel. And then we also have the Red Panda, which is again a full color along tutorial on the channel, so you can color in with me. I think that is it. Yeah. So that is what I've colored in Fragile World, and I do want to color in more on this book. I really do enjoy it. And then we've got the Flower Year, which I've done a good, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, no, I couldn't have done that. 17 and a half. And this is by the lovely Layla Dooley. So when I got the Flower Year, it was in March. So January and February are, for the most part, uncolored. However, this is the half page that I've done, and I used Castle Arts for that one. And again, I was really pleased with how beautifully Castle Arts actually blend together. And I also loved the way they worked on this paper. Really beautiful. So February remains pretty much untouched. And then we come into March, and I used a couple of Chris Chang tutorials to help me with the daffodils, and I referred to coloring with Elena's videos for different color combinations on the leaves, and really had a good time. And this was the first page I did in the Flower Year. Really lovely. I got the hyacinths. I think that's what they're called. I'm quite keen to do this one next. I followed a Colouring with Elena video series for these ones. I did them with Prismacolor, and just to help me get to really work and experiment with different color combos. Then in here I used polys for this one and Prismacolors for this one. And then here I think I used polys for the butterfly. Did that one with polys. Polys really are lovely in this this paper, really they are. Polys again with some Spectrum Noir Sparkle and White Sakura Jelly Roll. Then you have the Dog Rose, and these were also polys, and Spectrum Noir Sparkle. I might have referred to Colouring with Elena's video on this as well, just to help me with some of the highlights. And I think that's with Prismacolors, and then my whip with polys. But I have done this one on the channel, so you get. I think I did this on the channel. I'm not sure, but you can see this section on the channel. I do remember doing some to show you how to do fuchsias. And then this is on the channel as well. I think I use polys. I think I've used polys for most of this. And then the last one I did in this book was this one. December doesn't have anything, so I'm a bit slow in getting back into the flower year, but I do want to complete it. I think it will look absolutely exquisite when it's done, and I've promised myself that I will only get myself another floral book when I've completed this one. So that is Layla Dooley's The Flower Year. Next is Crystal Vogel's A Smile Race, and I've only done one page in here, but I love every single page in this book, and I would really love to see it completed. Again, I don't know when I will get it complete, but that's my first page so far, and I really do want to color more in this book. I love the illustrations. They're just so beautiful, and I think it's because it's nature and they're cute, and there's so much emotion and happiness in it as well. So yeah, this one's on my to-do list. I'd love more time to actually color. I really would. Next is Coloring Heaven Mermaid Special by Anastasia Ellie Caldereva. Now, Anastasia Ellie Caldereva is one of my favorite artists. I love her portraits and thoroughly enjoy her work and coloring in them. So I've got quite a few whips in here. I dip in and out of them as I can, but I have done a few pages. The lionfish page is one I'd like to do. Again, this is a book I'd love to see complete. There's maybe one or two pages where pictures I won't complete, or maybe I'll leave them for last. So I still need to work on her skin, complete her hair. I'm going to give her purple hair. But yeah, she still needs a lot of layers. So she's nowhere near even halfway. But I do like her. And we have this one, which I use Polychromos in New Color 2 pencils and Dovecraft Pearl Effects, or 3D pearls. And lots of glitter. This one I think also, if I just keep it in here and almost create like a bauble type effect, I think it would look really, really lovely. This one I want to do for the Loves Challenge, in the checklist, coloring checklist challenge. I think this will look really, really great. It screams romance. This is a whip. I really don't like the tail of it, so yeah, I'm a bit put off with it, but I need to come back and just finish it up and just get on with it. So we'll get there one day. And this one I've done, I use Castle Arts for this one, and Castle Arts I used on this one as well. Really enjoyed coloring it. And then this page is done with markers, Inktense, pencils, and Prismacolors. This is the first time I experimented with transparent clothing, so had some help from Ashley's coloring journey, which I really, really greatly appreciated. Another page I want to do is this one. Maybe create like a very dark, almost black into purple, and then a very light halo around her kind of background. I also really want to do this one. I've already planned it out. This is the only one I don't know if I'll come back to, but you never know. Maybe I will. I like her hair. Don't like makeup. I don't like giving my portraits makeup. Anyway, so that is Mermaid Special by Anastasia Ilikoldriva. I'd like to complete, this is one I'm not sure if I will complete, but I'd like to complete the majority of the pages. So this one I wouldn't be surprised if it gets traded out for a different book at some point. Another book that I might trade out is Mythographic Paradise, but I chose it for my 10 books to finish because it was this book and The Flower Year were the two books I had done the most coloring in 2022. So I just felt I needed to just pay it almost like homage and say, well, I've done so much in it already. I would like to continue and see how much more I can color in. And for the most part, I do find it easy to work in, especially now that I know how to cover up the unwanted images. So it's, I've done this one with polys and prismas, but mainly with prismas, oil paint in the background. This one I used Marco Raffine and watercolor pencils and a bit of polys, and sorry, not polys, prismas, and some Spectrum Noir Sparkle on the sky. And I am finding the cheaper sets actually work well on this paper and actually speed up the coloring process. So I need to actually allow myself to allow things to be sped up and not, you know, take out unnecessary faff. And this one was done with prismas and watercolor paints. What I realized I could have done with this is actually my son he was given 3D planets stickers for a birthday years ago. It would actually have done well to have actually put those planets stickers on here. And then this one was done with castle arts, Inktense pencils, watercolor paints, Prismas, and I think even polys. So there's a whole lot done here, and paint pens. And this one was done with Inktense and polys. Really liked this one. But there are quite a few pages in here I can see myself coloring, and I would like to color. So there's a lot more in here that will get colored then than won't. One of the pages I want to color is this one. Really want to color this one in. Then I've got here gold foil and Inktense background and Prismacolors and glitter. Also, this is one of my favorite pages. I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. I have got a couple of WIPs. So my two current WIPs is this one. I've just lost inspiration for it, so it's come to a bit of a grinding halt, but I'll get back there. I need to sit down with a video and just work on the honeycomb. But yeah, I really like how it's going. This is another one I'd like to do. Probably will refer to coloring with Elena's video, especially to create the sky. But yeah, I like referring to hers. I might do this page for the book challenge in the checklist challenge. We'll see how it goes. There's so many pictures in here I'd love to color. And this is another WIP. I need to work more on the background. It's not dark enough. I want it darker than it is. And then I've done this one with Inktense pencils and Prismacolors. And lots of sparkle and acrylic paint. This is another one I think would be quite easy to finish. So I'd like to do this one. And this was the picture that got me started, really kicked me off into coloring in Mythographic Paradise. And was also my first buddy color. And then this is the first page I tried coloring in, but I didn't know you could hide the funny objects. So because I started it and then I stopped, I'm not really sure what colors I've used where and how to proceed. So this might be one of the last pages I actually finish coloring because of how I've approached it. But yeah, so that is Mythographic Paradise, and a lot more in here that I'd like to finish then leave out. So I would like to see this complete, or 98% complete. And then finally we have Tales from the Forest Kingdom, which is right now my favorite Hannah Carlson book. And yeah, so the idea of actually just finishing a book from beginning to end and being able to page through it and see it colored in, it just really appeals to me. So I'm really looking forward to that day. It's a bit of a way away, but we'll get there. So this was one of the first ones I colored. And I did this one in support of Hannah Carlson when she found out she was quite ill. Then I've got a bit of bleed through on this one, but it's okay. We'll work with it. I've done the Berry Girl just recently. Then we have this one, which I really am pleased with how it's turned out. And then I've got this WIP here, which I've come to a bit of a halt on, but I need to carry on working with it. In this one, I've got videos for quite a few of these up on the channel, which I will link up here in the top right corner, and you can color along with me. Spectrum Noir Sparkle. I tried using Graphitint as a base and then Prismacolors on top. So those are my 10 books to finish one day in the future. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments below what are your top 10 books you want to see finished, if there are any specific pages within these 10 books that you would like to see on the channel as a color along and color with me. Also let me know in the comments if there is a book that you would like to see from beginning to end videoed as a color along series, and we can always do that as a community together. So let me know in the comments your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for your support, thank you for watching, and as always, please do like, subscribe and comment below, as it does help to support the channel, especially at the current moments where there's a few hiccups with the algorithm, and it's just a bit slow for us, but any likes and comments just help boost the channel. So thank you again everyone, I really appreciate you. Take care and I will see you soon. Bye for now.